Good morning everyone, it's Saturday, that means it's time for Manila Bay Cleanup. Over there you'll see a lot of people running, they're from the Navy. We'll take a closer look at that in a minute. And what you'll see over here is the big green mean machine. I've actually been talking to DPWH nearly, I don't know, every few days. I message them, hey, is the machine ready? Hey, is the machine ready? And so far I haven't been able to see it in action, but I can see it is in the water today. And someone from the DPWH, one of the local guys here, he said, yeah, it's working, don't worry, it's working. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll finally get to see this in action. He told me that these big, I forgot the name, the floating excavators, amphibious excavators, they'll also be on the road today. They'll be doing their job today, digging up and, you know, desilting and dredging this area. You'll see right now, you can't even see there's a beach here because it's completely, you know, covered in all this muck and stuff. But that will all be removed, and of course this will look really nice when they're finished. It's still early here, around 6 AM, so let's come back later and hopefully we'll see these in action. For now, let's go to the yacht club, Manila Yacht Club, and see if the MMDA have already set up their volunteer stuff. This helicopter's been flying around for quite a few loops now. I guess they must be practicing something. Yeah, she might be surprised to see something, which I was surprised to see. They've dug up this beach at Manila Yacht Club. Probably because most of the trash is underneath. Like, yeah, you can keep collecting the stuff on top, but you really have to dig down to get the worst of it up. So yeah, the whole place looks like a bit of a disaster, but this is what you have to do for the long run. And actually, just bumped into this man here. He appears to be collecting something, although he's not collecting all trash, so maybe he's just looking for those things that you can recycle, you know, you turn in for money, maybe. Anyway, it's good, whatever you can do to reduce, reuse, recycle, right? And just arrived here on Baseco Beach. You'll see some of the Coast Guard registering now. This is the main cleanup point at the moment for volunteers because of course the Manila Baywalk is closed, and so is Manila Yacht Club. And looks like there's a lot of volunteers here today, not just MMDA, so that's good. Over here you'll see a group of volunteers, and they're actually wearing jackets that say MMDA Anti-Littering Law Enforcement Volunteer. Now, law enforcement and volunteer, those two words don't usually go together, so I'll have to find out if they really have any power to issue tickets for littering. But nonetheless, they're here picking up litter and cleaning up Baseco Beach, so it's very good to see. And they're from Barangay 649, so yes, very good to see. Over here you'll see a couple of the MMDA rescue guys. They'll be able to offer any first aid if anyone injures themselves. Very unlikely, to be honest, on Baseco Beach, but it's better safe than sorry. So what you'll see is everyone is walking to the end of Baseco Beach because of course this is the area that needs the most cleaning. There's a lot of MMDA over there. There's a Philippine Coast Guard plus just behind us. The DENR just arrived. They said at the moment there's only a few of them. I'd estimate 15 overall, but later they said there'll be around 40 of them, so that's good. I don't think I've seen the DENR in any cleanup operations yet, so that's pretty good to see. There's a lot more garbage here, I can tell you that. And of course this is what people said, hey, when the rains come down, all the garbage is going to be washed onto the beach. Well, it's a lot easier to collect it on the beach than when it's in the water, so it's probably a good thing that the oceans are throwing it back onto the beaches. Well, I can see two boats in the background there, that's MMDA. And what you'll see this morning actually is General Andres from the MMDA is here. He's heading up the Manila Bay cleanup effort for the MMDA. And I have a feeling that's why people are working extra hard today, and that's good. It means that people respect you because when you're there, you know, they want to do their job. A little bit of respect, a little bit of fear. Sometimes that's what you need. Now, if you look over here, you'll just see mountains of garbage. For this one, it might even be better just to bring in some heavy machinery. Although saying that, the MMDA have so many people, and if they really, you know, work constant for, I don't know, 6 hours, 8 hours, they can do a lot of work. It's amazing what you can do when you have enough people. Sometimes I'm doing a project and I'm like, this is so much work. And then you get one person to help you. You're like, this is so much easier. Well, imagine if you add another 200 people. It's amazing what you can do. And actually more interesting than all the garbage over here is the fact that this is now open. This was closed before. And look at it now, flowing water. That's probably even better than cleaning up. Oh no, look how... Oh my goodness, what are they doing? They're soaked. And the one flying the drone today is MMDA, which is good news because it means we can get the footage. Those drones were actually donated to Bong Nabria and Task Force Special Operations. Very generous donor gave 4 drones, DJI drones, expensive drones to the team to support them. And well, it's too many for one team, so Bong distributed it inside the MMDA. So they're just getting ready to load up these boats now. They'll be taking people over to the breakwaters to check on some informal settlers or squatters, depending on how you consider them, and try and assess the situation. It's at times like this that I wish I had a nice DSLR to get some amazing footage, but it's okay for everyday use. I love my little small camera. So obviously what you'll see is there's still a lot of informal settlers along here, and unfortunately a lot of their waste does go straight into the water. So they're just about to send up the drone now. You see the other boat in the background. They actually got here faster than us because they're much lighter. We're quite a heavy crew at the moment. So here's a sample look. You can see they can get nice and close and see the exact situation. Plus it's recording, so if they need to look in 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, they can compare the difference and see the improvements. That's part of the flood control project. You see it has solar panels on top also, so even if there's a power outage you can still monitor the situation. You see a lot of plastic has wrapped itself around the boat over there. Of course it's piled up in this area because there's something for it to catch on. In fact, you'll see the garbage is just all around this area. Of course when the rain comes, the garbage comes. And up goes the drone again. A little bit windy, so I don't think you'll be able to see on camera, but it's just over there in front of the post office. And right now it's above the MMDA pumping station. You might notice it looks a little bit different from before because there was an art project that was aimed at making them a little bit more interesting, kind of like a sightseeing activity. And up on the bridge there you can see a Jeep. We actually passed that this morning. That crashed at 4:30 AM into a van. I'll put a picture on the screen. It's still there now. I'm surprised they haven't taken that away. So it's around 8:30 AM. Looks like the garbage collectors are here from the city. The ice cream men are here, obviously. Ice cream men, ice cream women. So as we get further along, you can see it really does look a lot better. Still lots of MMDA here taking their garbage back. And in fact, I've been advised that a lot of them have already relocated to another area, but it's now impassable because the water is so deep. Remember earlier I told you it's now opened up and water can pass through. They said it's too deep. So we're actually going to go around by land, and you'll see the Manila water here also giving free water to volunteers, which is good. I have my reusable bottle here from Quezon City. Thank you very much. And let's refill. So the main beach is over there, and you can access this area by road here because they have dug through now so that the water can pass. And there's mounds of dirt here, and now I actually remember somebody sent me a video of this and said, hey, what are they doing? And I said, I'm not sure. And I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was done by the barangay or the city. I'm not sure if it was, I don't think it was MMDA or DPWH or anyone like that. I could be wrong. And look at all this garbage here. Wow. So much garbage. I mean, these boats are literally floating on garbage. Anyway, definitely an area of concern, and nobody seems to know exactly what these mounds of dirt are for. I did ask around, nobody's completely sure at the moment, so that's something they'll have to look into. Anyway, cleanup continues. I'll show you the MMDA, they're just over there. So here you go, you see the MMDA with their rakes. There's just mounds and mounds of garbage, so much. Over here more, looks like someone's having a fire. Hopefully they're not burning garbage, because we have seen that on the beach here many times, but looks like they're burning wood. So again, you see more boats sitting on garbage. Some kids swimming over there. They don't yet consider the water safe for swimming, and using tongs and rakes, and it's just garbage. And a lot of this does really come from informal settlers that live along the waterways. They just throw it straight in the water. But to be honest, it's not just them. I've seen people who live in really nice houses, even in Makati. They come out of their house, they've got a plastic bag full of garbage, and then they stuff it into the sewer. And they do that as if it's a completely normal thing, as if, you know, it's okay. And where do you think that ends up? Well, it ends up in the waterways, and eventually it ends up in places like this. So yes, lots of people blame informal settlers and squatters, but you know, it's also rich people. It's not just people who are struggling. And many more MMDA. Maybe really all of the MMDA is still here from this morning. Just looks like less because they're spread out. This is a very good, very good clearing day. I've never seen them collect so much trash in one day. Very good day today, very positive. Not so many volunteers from the public, but well, it's okay. People give their time when they can, and someone just told me there's a well over here. Looks pretty deep, but I don't think it's drinkable. So just good for a shower. So it's just leaving Baseco beach now, and you can see over here is a garbage fire. Unfortunately, this really is still a thing around Manila City. That might change soon, I guess. A lot of garbage here also that needs to be cleaned up. Oh, this is meant to be a park for children. Wow. Why can't the barangay and the residents just come out and clean this up? It's not even a big area. You could do this in half a day. If you get enough people, buy some plastic bags, and you can clean this up easily. So I'm now back here on the Baywalk. I'm not sure how much has changed since we were here this morning, but I can see one of the excavators is already in the water, and it looks like the big mean green machine has moved already. So I just spoke to DPWH. They said their priority today is really to clear everything that you saw earlier from the beach here, and take all this away, load it onto the trucks. You can see there's less here compared to a couple of hours ago or a few hours ago. The mean green machine still being put together. They're trying to, they said they're attaching the floats to the pipe. I don't really know much about it, to be honest, but they said, well, maybe it won't go into action today. They're still getting everything together. I have to admit, I'm kind of excited to see it in operation, because it's a pretty expensive machine, but it can get the job done really fast. They had to bring this in from Finland, of course, and it's a case of, yes, you spend a bit of money, but you really get the job done with the right tools. And I'm very excited to hopefully see this in action soon. So I was on the way to Estero de Magdalena, and then I saw a lot of people with yellow jackets, and I saw they're cleaning up trash. They're from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and they're cleaning up trash, not just trash, maybe leaves also. You see some of them now carrying their bag of garbage. I think they said they have around 100 volunteers here today, and it turns out they actually got a permit for today's cleanup. Typically you don't need to get a permit to clean up garbage, but this is considered as a historical site, so they coordinated with Intramuros administration. I can't remember the name of them. But aside from garbage, you can see there's plastic bottles, plastic wraps, things like that. They're also taking away the leaves. I don't know if they're segregating it. Hopefully, I think they are. Hopefully they're segregating it, and that'll make it a lot easier to dispose of this, because this garden stuff, this garden waste is biodegradable, of course. So this is Estero de Magdalena next to Alvarado Street. It doesn't look great, but well, not awful either, somewhere in the middle. One thing that I wish is that the barangay could find a solution for this. They collect garbage from the residents and leave it here. The problem is they make a big pile, and then what happens when it rains or it's windy? It all gets blown into the water. If they could at least just make a simple box, a metal box or something like that to contain the garbage, I'm sure it'd be much better. Or put it in bags, I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna go to the other part of Estero de Magdalena where all the informal settlers are and see how things look there. So I'm now here at Estero de Magdalena where the informal settlers are, and still that water pipe is running non-stop. Supposedly there's a water shortage. Some areas are still actually experiencing that, and this pipe is running non-stop 24/7, just wasting water. It has been reported to Manila Water and to Manilad. I'm not exactly sure whose jurisdiction it is. Still hasn't been fixed. The barangay know about it as well. It's been reported to them. My goodness. Anyway, you'll see, well, of course there's still garbage here. It doesn't look too bad for this area, especially considering the rains have been here. Yes, there's a lot of garbage, but it's actually better than I expected. You see electrical wires running through the water, which is so dangerous. They're just wrapped with some electrical tape. Anyway, you can guess where that electricity is coming from and if anyone's paying for it. On the other side, you can see where they're continuing to build that wall. The idea is it's going to be like a nice walkway and there won't be any squatters or anything there. You see there's a lot of garbage here. There's another trap. I can see someone throwing stuff in the water over there, but I can't make out what it is. It's too far away. Anyway, you see there is a lot of garbage on this side, but again, it's not as bad as I would have expected because this area really is normally very, very bad. There's a little birdie on there. It's not as bad as I expected, but it is bad, and the water's looking very, very green today.